Happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays. As you guys know, we're in December. As you guys can see with my hat on. I know it's not technically on me, but I'm having a hard time, getting, the hat stuff to work. Because the camera just do not work well on electronics for some reason, especially the DS's. So, this is the best I could do. But, anywho, as you guys know, with it being the holidays, you guys know I'm going to be preparing some reviews. Who doesn't love the holidays? Especially Christmas. Who doesn't love celebrating Christmas with, lots of food, the decorations, and possibly snow, depending on where you're at, who doesn't love, having some Christmas? Especially, when you get to celebrate it, and apparently, we get to celebrate it in August. Yep, August. The hottest month of the year. Yep, so it's not only August, but the hottest month of the year. And, yeah, that's pretty much what this episode is, doing here. That's right, we're going to be reviewing a Super Mario World cartoon episode for Christmas. Since the Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3 don't actually, have any Christmas episodes, and the original show has its episodes, but I mentioned in the past I'll be just reviewing that seasonally, because, by seasonally I mean like I'll review the entire show in a video or two, because, the episodes are there's a lot of good, bad, and meh episodes in that show, and I feel like it's harder to kind of rank it, where, like, Super Mario World, the cartoon is, like, only has 13 episodes, and the other one has 26, and most of those are really good. So, yeah. But, yeah, we're gonna be reviewing an episode of Super Mario World called The Night Before Cave Christmas, which, like I said, for some reason is, in August, during the hottest month of the year. But apparently, the reason why they're celebrating it, is because the cave people cannot get along. And apparently, I guess what they're gonna do here is, spread the joy. Or, I guess in this case, lie. They're gonna lie to their friends about, Christmas. So they can spread some Christmas joy and, get people to stop fighting. So, yeah. So what happens in this episode is apparently, Mario decides to dress up for Santa and, help make toys. Because, they gotta make toys and all that for the kids and all that, and, the adults, because, again, the cave people cannot get along, and, because the cave people are all idiots, and, in this show, they're not smart at all, including Yoshi. They think, they, of course, believe it. They actually believe, the whole, cave thing and all that. And, this show, this episode here, I'm gonna state too, again, they're doing all of this because they're not getting along. And there actually is a Christmas, and they actually, state that. But I'm just like, what happens when the holidays are over? Are they gonna start fighting again, I'm like, that doesn't really resolve the situation. Again, it makes you just look like a horrible person who lies all the time, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird to do something like that, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but, Yeah, but basically, yeah, they start making toys, and all. Ooptar, is, in the episode, and, causing trouble, because Ooptar is a bad kid, and, I do like we get to have King Koopa in the episode, too, and wants to steal all the toys for his Koopa, Christmas. Because he's evil, so obviously he's got to steal toys. I'm just like, just kind of weird and all that. Oh, I want to clarify too. He not only steals the toys, but I think he actually gets rid of the toys because apparently he has a bomb, like a bomb for Bully Koopa. Or as we all know him as Roy. In this show he's called Bully Koopa. Basically, so I guess I'm like, he goes through all of this, just to like, I mean, yeah, I think he's a villain, but I'm like, you go through all of this, like, you could, like, why even steal the damn toys? Why not just freaking destroy them right off the bat? You're just gonna replace them with freaking toys and crap for your kids anyway. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but, I don't know, but, I mean, it's even weirder that they actually have, this, in the show, it's kind of weird they actually have, it's weird, they actually still use the old Koopaline names before they change it. Because, I mean, in Super Mario Bros. 3, the reason why they have, those names in the cartoons is because the games haven't come out yet, so they were coming up with names. But then they have this show, they still use the names and all that, so I'm just like, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. Like, Wendy is still called Cutie Pie, Ludwig is still called Kooky and all that. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. But, there's not really a ton to talk about in this special. There's not a ton. I will say this, though, for what it is, though, it actually isn't too bad of an episode. But I'm probably going to be giving this one probably a meh. Yeah, I'm going to give this one a meh. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it a score or two, so I could talk about kind of why I'm giving it a meh. We're going to get 64 points. Yeah, it's not bad, but it ain't good either. Like, I think, like, it could have been a lot worse, but I don't know, it just doesn't really have that Christmas charm to it. And maybe part of it is the fact that they have it, like, have it in, like, August and all that. But also, the other thing is, too, is I don't really like Ooptar in the episode much. I mean, Ooptar in general is not my favorite. I mean, I don't really care for the K people in general much. But also, I kind of feel kind of bad that they're being lied to and all that, to get freaking presents. I'm just like, I kind of feel bad about that, but, like, especially, when it's not even around the holidays to begin with, I'm like, you're just lying to your friends to make them behave, I mean, the thing is, though, this episode, though, at least, does, give Ooptar does apologize, for what he did and all that, but I don't feel like I feel like it would have been better if this was a 22-minute episode, and we actually see, like, yeah, we get more time for Ooptar to be better and all that, instead of just making it an 11-minute episode and all that, because, I mean, yeah, he apologizes, but, still, I mean, I will say this episode is definitely better than what Teen Titans Go did in that, Christmas episode, where they, again, teach, well, they try to tell kids that, like, being bad, like, being bad and all that, you can get whatever you want. And you could say, well, that it's not really for little kids, it's for an older, like, audience, but it's still for kids and all that, but This one kind of doesn't do much with that either. I mean, they don't. I mean, Ubtar gets rewarded at the end for being bad, but he also does apologize and all that too for what he did. I just wish they did more with it. But I mean, comparing it to Teen Titans Go, it's not saying a lot, because Teen Titans Go, it was a shitty episode. That was a very shitty episode they made, and all that, and the characters were all unlikable there. But still, this one kind of just, again, I don't feel much of a Christmas joy either, and all that, and I do kind of feel like Mario, Luigi, and Princess Toadstool, or Peach as we call her now, lied to their friends. I feel like it's a bit much, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of wish it was already around the holidays, and it was just Ubtar who was being the grouch and needed to learn his lesson, but I don't know. But I also like that it's titled The Night Before a Cave Christmas, because that title is very close to The Night Before Christmas, which was made by Disney. But actually, that movie came out years later, I think. I don't think that was a 90s movie. I'm pretty sure that was that was a 90s movie, not an 80s movie. So that's actually quite crazy, how close the titles are. I guess to be fair too, though, I guess Disney does have a movie called Avatar, which I guess was technically a 20th Century Fox movie, but it's Avatar, and then there's a show called Avatar, but, I don't know, but it is still kind of crazy to see all that, but that's the thing too. Like I said, there's really, like I said, there's not much I hate about this episode. I just don't think it's as memorable, as other Christmas specials that have been out. But I think it could have been a lot worse. But that's just my opinion. But I do have to let things go, because I'm gonna be watching some more Christmas stuff. And I'm going to try to do this. I'm not going to tell you guys which one it is, but I do have a Scooby-Doo one, so you guys will be surprised. I have a Scooby-Doo episode planned. Hopefully, if things go accordingly, because I have one of the DVDs, but I don't know if, I think it should have the episode on it, but we'll see. But, I mean, if I actually do review it, I will explain kind of my issue with trying to get it to, turn out and all that, but anywho, I better go ahead and let the video go from here, because I don't have much else to say, but anywho, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you guys later. Dash All Rose, signing off. Bye-bye.